Chapter 16. The seventh planet was Earth. Earth is not a simple planet. There are 111 kings. Of course, you can't forget to mention the kings from African countries. 7,000 geographers, 900,000 businessmen, 7,500,000 drunkards, and 311 million vain men. In total, there are about 2 billion adults. I will tell you how you can picture the size of Earth. Before electricity was discovered, a whole army of 462,511 lamplighters had been needed on 6 continents. If you could look at it closer, it would be the most amazing scene. The army of lamplighters' actions would be led as a ballet performance in an opera house. First would be the lamplighters from New Zealand and Australia. After switching the lamps on, they would go to bed. Then the lamplighters from China and Siberia would join the performance with their moves. Later, they would hide behind the scenes, giving the stage to the lamplighters from Russia and India, then Africa and Europe, then South America, and then North America. They would never make any mistakes in the order of their entrances. It would be charming. And only a man responsible for the lamp in the North Pole and his colleague in the South Pole would live carelessly. They would have to work only twice a year. Chapter 17. When you dream, you usually lose the reality. I wasn't completely honest when I told you about the lamplighters. I am afraid I can give a wrong impression about our planet to those who don't know it. People do not occupy a lot of space on Earth. If the 2 billion people inhabiting our planet are put close enough and close to each other, like it happens at social meetings, they will easily fit in a territory of 20 miles lengthwise and 20 miles widthwise. All mankind can be gathered on a small island in the Pacific. Adults would definitely not believe you if you said this to them. It seems to them that people need a lot of space. They think of themselves as much as baobab trees do. Advise them to count themselves. They love numbers. They will like it. But don't waste your time doing this unnecessary job yourself. There is no point. I know, believe me. When the little prince found himself on the planet Earth, he was surprised that he couldn't see anybody. He was worried he had arrived at the wrong planet. Unexpectedly, something golden slipped along the sand and coiled in the shape of a moon. "Good evening," the little prince spoke politely. "Good evening," said the snake. "What is the name of the planet I have arrived on?" the little prince asked. "Earth, Africa," the snake replied. "Ah, there are no people on Earth, aren't they?" "This is a desert. There are no people in the desert. Earth is huge," the snake said. The little prince sat down on a rock and raised his eyes to the sky. "This is interesting," he said. "The stars glow in the sky so everyone can find his star. Look at my planet. It's straight above us, but it's so far." "It's beautiful," said the snake. "What brought you here?" "I fell out with the flower," the little prince said. "Ah," the snake said, and they were both silent. "Where are the people?" The little prince decided to reopen the conversation. "It's so lonely in the desert." "It's very lonely among people as well," the snake told. The little prince scrutinized the snake for some time. "You are a cute animal," he said at last. "You are not thicker than a finger." "But I am more powerful than the finger of a king," the snake said. The little prince laughed. "You are not very powerful. You don't even have legs. You won't even be able to travel." "I can transport you further than any ship will do," the snake said. It wound itself twice around the little prince's ankle like a golden bracelet. "Anyone I touch goes back to the place where he came from," the snake talked again. "But you are innocent and honest, and you have come from a star." The little prince didn't reply. "I feel sorry for you. You are so unprotected on this hard, gigantic planet Earth," the snake said. "One day I will be able to help you if you anxiously miss your planet. Oh, I perfectly understand you," the little prince said. "But why are you constantly speaking in riddles?" "I solve them all," said the snake, and they both went silent. Chapter 18. The little prince had crossed the desert and seen only one flower. It was a rather unattractive flower with 3 petals. "Good morning," said the little prince. "Good morning," answered the flower. "Are there any people?" the little prince inquired politely. The flower saw a passing caravan once. "People?" the flower echoed.
I think there are only 6 or 7 of them. I saw them several years ago. You never know where to look for them. The wind blows them away. They don't have roots, so their life is very difficult."
"Goodbye," the little prince said.
"Goodbye,"
said the flower. Chapter 19. After that, the little prince climbed the highest mountain. The only mountains he'd ever seen were his 3 volcanoes, which could hardly reach his knees. He used the dead volcano as a stool. "I should be able to see a whole planet with all the people on it from such a high mountain," the little prince thought to himself. He couldn't see anything except the spiny mountain tops. "Good morning," he said politely.
"Good morning, good morning, good morning,"
it echoed. "Who are you?" asked the little prince.
"Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?"
it replied. "Be my friends. I am very lonely," he said.
"I am very lonely. I am very lonely. I am very lonely,"
repeated the echo. What a strange planet, the little prince thought. It's dry, spiny, severe, and distracting. People don't have an imagination. They repeat everything you say to them. I had a beautiful flower on my planet. It always started a conversation first. Chapter 20. After long wanderings in sands, mountains, and snow, the little prince came to a road, and all roads lead to people's houses. "Good morning," he said in front of a garden filled with full-blown flowers. "Good morning," said the roses. The little prince checked them carefully. They all looked like his flower. "What are you?" he asked, stunned. "We are roses," replied the roses. He became sad. His beauty told him it was the only one of its kind in the whole universe. There were 5,000 identical roses in the garden. "My flower would be very upset if it saw this garden," he thought to himself. "It would cough awfully and pretend it was dying to avoid being laughed at. I would pretend to bring it to life because if I didn't do it, the beauty would really die in order to humiliate me." He continued to share his thoughts. I thought I was rich because I had the most unique flower in a whole world, but all I had was a simple rose and 3 volcanoes which could hardly reach my knees, and one of them is most certainly dead. I am not such a prince afterwards." He threw himself down on the grass and started crying.